Here we are, hitting up events, drinking our way through Chicago beer, and trying not to miss a thing.
Yeah, because, the cork popped out, it flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it.
All you have to do is add some fruit, stir it up, and ride that milkshake wave.
Whenever I see him, I gotta take a photo with the most decorated brewer in Chicago, Jonathan Cutler.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. You ever go to, every time you go to Floyd's, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Sometimes you want a small beer, but really, you want a big beer.
You gotta take in all those big aromatic hops.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Waiting in line for a bottle release?
Should have never been a fad. The black IPA is delicious.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski.
Brad, what's up, man? I'm Nik White.
And if you're disappointed, it's just us. Sorry.
I mean, you still got us, though.
Yeah, we got us.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. But we had like a busy week of episodes because one, I got behind on the previous week, and then I just dumped 3 episodes on everybody.
We only go as far as Brad takes us. So,
I had to do it because we had that St. Patrick's Day episode, and I
Yeah.
had to put it out on St. Patrick's Day. So that means everything else basically got dumped on there. The Two Hound Red.
Two Hound Red, and the one before that.
Were just us.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
The Two Hound Red and Guinness back-to-back interviews, which maybe for the first time ever in a week. So those are really good. Those are good profile pieces. So I was
Right.
excited to hear those. Yeah.
And then we've been out and about, and we haven't got to really dive into these Irish red ales. And St. Patrick's Day has come and gone. We drank a lot of Guinness and
A lot of that with the little Irish whiskey tasting. That was fun.
yeah.
Yeah, like that.
So we're gonna be drinking some Irish reds
Okay.
in the aftermaths of St. Patrick's Day.
I'm more a fan of the red if we're doing like the local stuff. I'm more a fan of the Irish red than I am of the local dry Irish stout.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So this one I picked it up on a trip out to Tinley Park from Flipside.
Right on.
Mr. Mulligan's? No, I said that wrong.
Mr. Mulligan's.
Mulligan's.
Yeah.
Irish red. It seems like it's a bunch of groundhogs or moles
Or chipmunks or
hanging out at the golf course.
gophers or some kind of underground animal. They all got mustaches. They all got it is a very cool landscape here on Mr. Mulligan's. So this is 5.5% brewed with Golden Promise, Crystal, and roasted barley.
Yeah, I think it was a couple episodes ago. I was saying I was going out to Hailstorm. I was going to Tinley Park. I knew Hailstorm had their their Irish Southside Red or whatever it's called. And then I was trying to decide what to go to. And I think on the episode, I'm like, I'm just going to go to Sound Growler.
Yeah.
It's what I believe in. It's what I can trust.
They got those nice windows you can sit in. I like those.
Yeah. And then I was looking at the menu when I was at Hailstorm.
Yeah.
And I saw Flipside had a really nice food menu.
Mm-hmm.
And they just put on this Irish red. So I was like,
Yeah.
Sound Growler ain't got no Irish red. So they lost my business there.
That's funny. Flipside showed up too at the
Brewfest.
at Brewpub Shootout.
Right. And
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I was shocked and I didn't believe it. I was like, I didn't think I would go to Flipside, and here I was loving every minute of being at Flipside.
Right on. Yeah, man. Cheers to Eric Pfizer. I know that's the old 350. I think he bought the place out from those guys after going to other spots.
Mm-hmm.
And he came back, bought the space, and now it's like totally different.
Right.
Yeah.
It's way more light in there. It's like friendlier when you walk in. You don't feel like you're just going into somewhere you shouldn't have went into.
I think 350 kind of felt like like somebody's garage.
Right.
Or, like this might be cool or something could go left here really quick.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Like if you could still smoke in a place, that would be a place where the smoke would be like waist down. Like you'd just be like, yeah, you can't see nothing in here.
Yeah.
But now there's plants. It feels bright. It's open. It's really nice, and they have a really good food menu.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting the smash burger
Oh, nice.
because I've been on this stupid burger kick.
Oh, yeah. You're doing the rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll make it back to a biker burger.
Oh,
soon.
biker dude.
So, the smash burger was okay. they also had I think a Cuban or a Reuben on that I should have went with that maybe, but
Oh, because of the season, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I got this beer. I think Maeve got a stout or a little porter. That was tasty, and it was a great spot. So,
Yeah.
and we were invited there to do an episode.
Nice. Yeah, I like
Anytime. He says he's there.
all the time. He's probably
roll up.
grinding. Yeah. It's funny because I think he was telling the story, and I think it's like him and a couple other staff were at another brewery. God, the one in God damn, I'm drawing a blank. It's in, is it a Lamont? No, fuck, it'll come back to me.
Okay.
But Milk and Honey. Is it Milk?
Milk, yeah. Milk and Honey, yeah.
Or is it
Milkmate? No.
It's either Milkman or Milk and Honey. It's got milk in the title, and it's got a milkman, a milk truck on the on the logo. That brewery.
At
God damn, what's the name of this brewery,
at
Brad?
Beer Under Glass, they were ringing their like cowbell like real loud in people's faces, and I was like, damn, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, that brewery. It was him and a few of the staff that left.
Milk Money. I think it's Milk.
I think it's Milk Money. I think you're right. Yeah.
I didn't want to go out there, but we've heard like kind of questionable mixed.
It's a fair assessment. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just haven't gone. I have 300 other breweries to choose from in the state. So, and I went to Flipside rather than like going to standard sound growler or went over to Brothership. So,
You're expanding your horizons.
right.
Check that out.
But I originally went out there to go to Hailstorm, which Will Turner is now the head brewer or brewer. He's a brewer there.
Will the Thrill. He's probably the head brewer.
Right.
Right? I think he turned that program. I wouldn't say he turned it around.
They had to save. The ship had a lot of water coming in.
The ship needed a saving.
Yeah.
and they called Will Turner and said, hey, man, you're one of the 10 greatest Chicago brewers ever. You should get down here and save us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever really had the beer. I think I had it once when we did that tasting with Fresh Hop.
Ultra Fresh, the hop review event.
We did like a hop review thing, and I think someone brought some Hailstorm stuff.
Oh, we did a tasting. I think hop review. They had this nice media kit, so they had all these samples, and then they just invited everyone they knew out, and we tried everything that night. Right? We all had to do like a little write up on the samples we tried.
So there was some Hailstorm stuff there, but I had never seeked it out or went for it before.
Hailstorm?
So, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
And so
I feel like you've been to Hailstorm before.
No, I never have.
That's funny. I don't know why I feel like you've been there, but
so it was nice to go in there, but I also this building is huge.
yeah, it's bigger. I think there was just one storefront,
Okay.
and now they're making the move.
Okay. It feels like it's still one storefront, and we like got this other space, but we didn't get enough stuff to fill it. Like when someone who like was living in like renting a condo apartment, and then they bought a house, and they're like, I went to a friend's house in Ohio one time. She's like, yeah, that room just has a mattress on the floor. I don't know what to do. I don't want to buy furniture. It's like
my first time having a place this big.
Yeah, so that's what Hailstorm feels like right now. Where
it's a
like,
big space.
we don't know what to do with that, so bought another picnic table and put it over there. But I had the Irish Red there, which it was okay. We'll probably have it next week and give a little more assessment on it. But I kind of enjoyed the Flipside version a little better.
This Irish Roll works, man.
Yeah.
This is fun. I like it.
And then Hailstorm has food, so they have like a food window there.
Oh shit, sorry. It's like we've never done a fucking show before, Brad.
Getting a call in. It's Will Turner.
Will Turner's like, what the fuck you say about my Irish Red? I'll come over there. I'll get on my motorcycle and come over there right now.
So they got food menu. Not too many options. Basically, carb heavy things like pretzel and sandwich and chips and nacho, stuff like that.
Yeah. I had a triple IPA from them once called Dominatrix, and that was my jam from the old Hailstorm. Okay. Years ago. Yeah.
I feel like if I go back to Tinley Park, we're probably going back to record with Flipside. Okay. And then I would go to Brothership now.
I've never been
sort
there.
of like I've been to Hailstorm now. I don't know if I would. You have 4 options when you go there. Like, what are you gonna choose? You could probably do 2, maybe 3.
Yeah,
Doing all 4, and if you're driving,
you know,
it's dangerous.
you know, it's beer country. I do like the sign off the highway that says "Welcome to Beer Country."
Yeah.
When you're entering Tinley Park, yeah, they I think of all those South suburban breweries, man, and then not even you don't even count like the open bottle.
Yeah.
It's like a proper craft store. Yeah, they drink good stuff out there,
So
and they're making a lot of beer. It's
right.
very
So if
cool.
I go back, I'm going to Brothership, and Hailstorm is at the bottom now of my rotation.
It's rough out here, you know. But that's how beer is, right? Like we were talking about whoever's with the gummy series, Noon Whistle,
Right.
and how like if someone makes you upset, or you know, or they don't have to make you upset. What if they just don't make you happy? Then you're like,
yeah, they don't excite you enough to like be like, I should probably make it back here.
yeah,
And I had like 1 beer at Hailstorm, so I could have I had the Irish Red. I could have maybe another beer would have been like, I gotta come back here again, and then next time I'm doing Hailstorm and something else.
Yeah.
But it's tough when you're in like a suburban town with 4 breweries that are pretty damn close.
yeah.
And you have a gas station with a drive-through do right.
Donuts?
Yeah.
I like a nice do right. Don't get the one with they have one where they put chicken on it.
Yeah, you can do that in the drive-through.
It's very gluttonous. I felt dirty. I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this.
Some guy was telling me he did it with a chocolate donut one time, and he said that was terrible. It wasn't. It wasn't even good.
It looks better. It's better on paper than actually doing it.
Okay.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else about Tinley.
But there's like so many good breweries over there with the open bottle too that I don't know. It's tough to like decide, and I don't even know if Brothership has food, but now you can kind of get food at least 3 of them.
People in these little FB groups are kind of lose their shit over Brothership's space debris series. I think it's a stout series from them. I don't know anything about it, but people swear by it in the groups.
See, I'm over there for Irish Red. You got one of those cream ales.
English mild, is there by chance? I will say this about Hailstorm. I think as much as I like coconut, I think their coconut Vlad, their barrel aged Vlad, it was probably it's a top tier coconut experience for me. Was coconut Vlad, and I'm not super into the Vlads at all, but that coconut one I thought was money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, cool. So that was me picking up this beer, and I don't know, we're like crushing this.
It was very good, 5.5%. And it's just right. It's like it's not like a malt bomb because there's like light fruit notes on it too. You know, it's good. Golden Promise is such a good name for a malt.
Right. So that I did that a couple weeks ago. What have you been up to?
Man,
you did like a couple beer dinners, right?
Yeah, man. Cheers to Moor's Brewing. Moor's is in Chicago. I think Moor's is brewing out of 18th Street.
Okay.
And they're all over the place. They have this really cool, what do you call it? Footprint. Like, so they, it's one of the few black-owned breweries in town. Okay. So you can go to like a lounge on like 79th Street and see their stuff. Or you can see their stuff at like Alinea or at the Four Seasons. Just like this crazy range of places.
Weird, okay.
You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't even make sense. Yeah, they got like 4 or 5 beers on the market. And they hooked up with Luella's Southern Kitchen. That's in Lincoln Square. Okay. And then Soul and Smoke, which has 2 locations, Ghost Kitchen in Avondale, and they're actually right next to Metropolitan Brewing. Right. In the in whatever we're calling that mall now.
The Metropolitan space.
Yeah, Rockwell on the lake or whatever it's called on the river. Yeah. So 5-course dinner. Yeah. So I think they had the Hell's Lager, the Imperial Stout, the Pale Ale, the IPA, and they made a cocktail with the porter. Okay. Yeah.
How was the cocktail?
Fantastic. It was a bourbon, something called Cherry Hearing. Okay. Not sure what that is. What else?
I think a couple episodes ago we were
like bourbon beer cocktails. Like, yeah, cocktails, mocktails, right? But this was good because it was have you been to Time Out Chicago? No. It's like a gigantic cafeteria, right? With like 18 food concepts.
Okay.
But then you go upstairs and there's like this a lot of lounge areas, and then there's like a demo kitchen and then a fancy restaurant, and that's the bookends, right,
Oh,
on
cool.
each side.
Okay.
So this was upstairs in the demo kitchen, so a lot more intimate. It almost feels like you're sitting at a sushi bar, you know.
Yeah,
And
neat.
yeah, so it was actually kind of cool. I will say that the Soul and Smoke chef used to work at Moto, which I think is where Old Irving used to work too. Because he comes out, his first dish is like these brisket cigars. So it's a cigar wrapped in greens, and he ground up some black sesame and white sesame. So it's served in like a glass plate that kind of looks like an ashtray.
I feel like the Old Irving guy told us about this, and I've seen videos and pictures of this back when that was like super popular.
Yeah. So I guess I'm like, what did you eat to make you want to make this? And he's like, I used to work at Moto. I'm like, it all makes sense now. Yeah. It's so funny. It was kind of like an old school beer dinner where, like, you know, I won't say they were full portions, but it was definitely more than a tasting portion. So, you know, they knew what they were doing because everyone had like little boxes to go. But it was a full on feast, more like a celebration than a tasting. So it was actually really cool. Yeah, so cheers to those guys. I'm not a big fan of their IPA. I think it's too bitter. I've said that to them. Like, you know, it's just not for me. It's just like very big bitter hops. I think the pale ale I'm in for, and this Imperial Porter, 8.3%. No barrel, no adjuncts, just a straight up big porter. I think that's my favorite beer from them now. After having it in the cocktail and then having it with the dessert, I'm like, well, shit. And they're like, you want a full pour of anything? I'm like, give me the porter. I'm gonna go hang out on these leather couches for a bit and you know, pay my meter and chill for a bit.
I've only had their beer at like when we saw them at Oak Park Microbrew and like a couple of fests. I don't know what to commit to when I see the 4-packs. So I haven't like picked any of their stuff up yet.
I think there should be a mixed 4-pack. I don't know if I say anything about that to them. Because yeah, like I don't want the Hell's Lager. I think is good. I don't want 4 of them. I don't want 4 of anything. Okay. Right? I'd love to have a mix from them. I think that'd be cool.
Especially like a brewery, like not that like a brewery that you can't go to and try stuff. Like 'cause you're brewing somewhere else, you're like, I don't even know where to start. Like you're just rolling the dice, which a lot of time you are doing, and it's just like some of their like I see their packaging, I'm like, it looks great, and I don't know which one to get.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I think I was in the same boat because there's been some limited releases. There was there was like a brown ale that had like barrel-aged maple syrup in it. I tried that at some point, not that night, but yeah. I think that was my best takeaway was I'm like, yo, I never tried them all at once. Yeah. For me to have a favorite, so I dug that. But then their beers stood up to the food. We've talked about that before, right? Okay. Where so cool. That was good. No. I think I'm gonna get into another one of these mulligans, man.
I know. I think I'm gonna do another one, and
they're going down pretty easy today.
Steve from Two Hound Red, he made like a comment when we were interviewing him. He's like,
really?
He's like, I didn't think Brad liked the beer because he only drank one of them, but I watched some other episodes, and I often only have one, and Nick probably has 2, or Nick opens a second one, and maybe like I'll steal a little bit of it. But,
yeah, that's funny.
The fact that I'm like going in for number 2 here. Dun, dun, dun. It must say a lot, or I'm like feeling pretty good on this Thursday.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Yeah.
And then you did another beer dinner too.
That's right, man. Cheers to Phase 3. Phase 3 turned 4 years old. So Phase 3's party was over the entire week. Yeah. Since they're in beautiful Lake Zurich, Illinois, fun town to visit, I'm sure, but a lot of people are nowhere near there. So they partied downtown at the Benny's, the flagship Benny's. The one across from Goose Claiborne. Yeah. Okay. And that gigantic, you ever been in the gigantic fucking tasting room that's never fucking open? You ever been in here?
I have been in there, yeah.
It's very annoying that they never fucking use this place because it's a very nice place. Gigantic ceilings, fucking like 20 taps, and it's never open.
Maybe when Goose leaves.
And it's the only option.
They'll be like, well, now we have a reason to because people are like, oh, can I get a beer to drink? They're like, oh, well, shit, now. We can do it.
Yeah, Benny's needs to get their shit together and have that place open all the time. It's a very cool space. So Phase 3 was there, and they threw like a little mini festival. So they had stations all around this joint, and they were pouring all their hard-to-get Unoya, Curvature, birthday bourbon, birthday beer stuff. So I had Arabesque, which was a 2-year-old English barley wine, barrel aged. That was pretty nice. My favorite beer, I think, was Unoya number 2, which was coconut and peanut butter.
Okay.
It's as it sounds. It came out the glass, so fucking good. That was my favorite one. There was a crew that catered this thing. God damn it.
That catered the food?
That catered the food.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was cake, and then there were like basically little lunch boxes. So you get a lanyard, and you get a punch card for your lunchbox, and then you get 4 punch cards for beer.
Oh, cool.
Right. And then there's an option to buy beers on draft, and then you can try the anniversary stout, which is like I think it's a brownie stout, or you can try the anniversary triple IPA. Yeah. Triple IPA is just called 4, and it's the real deal. 4. I really love that thing.
Okay.
El Dorado, Mosaic. Yeah.
I find it funny that
hazy.
You talk a lot about Phase 3, and like I almost never,
That's
I never
fun.
have it. Like, I literally just don't pick it up. It's crazy. Like,
it's weird, man. Like I think it came along at a point where I don't know if it was it might have been pre-pandemic when they came on board, and then their drops became an event where like you had to stop what you were doing or plan your day around going to get a 4-pack. Right. And then when they opened the facility, because they were in Lake Zurich, and then they just bought Lake Zurich out, and now they've got their own space, and it's like, okay, we'll go and get their stuff. It was one of those. It was the feeling. You had that feeling when Three Floyds was doing their thing at the peak of Three Floyds mania. It was kind of like that. It was when
you got word that there was cases of zombie dust.
Someone's
got to go. Who's going?
It's like the Office meme, like go, everybody now. This is happening. Yeah. So it kind of reminds me of that era of the Three Floyds. The peak of the Three Floyds mania. So yeah, maybe that's why, right?
That's why.
Because there's nothing new about it, but it just reminds me of a time where shit was fun.
It's usually good.
Oh, and then I don't think anyone else is doing the adjunct stouts better than them. I don't think. Yeah. I think they nail it. They dial it in more than any other crew, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. So
nice. Let's see a few other spots I made to it in the city. I made it back to Peace.
Right on. Peace is back.
The beer's good. So I don't have any and the pizza's the same, right? The pizza's the same.
It's fucked up to say, but you're almost at a point where is Peace are we over Peace? Is Peace over?
Man, there was a NBC person talking to Rick Bayless, recording this video when we were in there. Yeah. And Rick Bayless was in there, and people were like, oh, and Ken and I interviewed Rick Bayless on the Hopcast
I remember
years
that.
ago.
We had a coriander thing with Goose. Yeah.
And we did that, so I don't think anything of Rick Bayless.
Yeah.
I think the food he does is good, but they had a pizza they're doing with him, which happened to debut that day, but we didn't realize it wasn't on the menu, so we didn't even try it. Just got a personal lunch pizza and had a beer. I just wanted to see if the beer was back.
Yeah.
It was back, but yeah. Peace is it's the safest option if you're almost not know what to do or have friends or family in town that maybe like beer. Everyone likes pizza. If you don't like pizza, you're probably a serial killer or something. So
it's a universal food. Pizza and tacos are universal. Yeah.
If you don't like those, maybe you have a gluten thing, but otherwise, we don't need to be friends.
Yeah. And that's true. Not over in a sense we're just over it, but just in a sense that, because I had this, I used to really like going to Hugo's Frog Bar downtown. It's attached to a steakhouse, and I think not Sullivan's, but Gibson's.
Gibson.
It's attached to Gibson's. And I like that place, but I think after a while it's okay, what's next, right? I think maybe Peace is in that category for me. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it was almost going to Peace. I wanted to check out the beer, but there's that burger place that opened across the street.
Oh yeah,
and I was
Salt.
Yeah, Salt.
Yeah.
Do I just go to the burger place. Like, I know what Beast has to offer, but I was doing the research for the pod. But now that I did it, I'd be like, okay, it's back. But you know, if you didn't want to go, you don't need to go now. But now you have a reason to like not be disappointed in it.
Yeah, that's important because it's an institution, you know. So good for them.
Yeah. And then I went to Adams Street.
Adams Street Brewery. Hello. So this is Berghoff.
Yeah.
Liquor license number 1.
I went on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh shit. What is going on here?
At lunch, I was working downtown.
Yeah.
I sat down at the bar, 12:30.
Yeah.
Guys next to me order car bombs.
God damn. Well, I mean, it is St. Patrick's Day.
And then they get the car bombs.
Are we supposed to call it car bomb or does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
As they're finishing their car bombs, I'm like ordering mine, and a guy walks by and asks people at the bar if they want to buy cocaine.
I
was like,
312, baby.
What is happening here?
Oh.
But I had their Irish Red.
No nickname or nothing for the Coke, not just cocaine.
Yeah.
It's funny. All right. Right on.
And so I had their Irish Red and a corned beef sandwich, which they have the corned beef sandwich on all the time.
Yeah.
They had an Irish menu, like Irish stew. They had corned beef and cabbage. But I was like, I just go corned beef sandwich. It's lunchtime, and I'll try this Irish Red.
Well, now when you've had a few here to the Irish Reds. You've had the Hailstorm. You've had the Flipside. You've had the Adams Street. So can you, where are they shaking out for you as far as
They're
order?
Low. They're low. They're like near forgettable.
Oh man, that's too bad.
I only remember because we were looking back at our Instagram.
Yeah.
I was like,
the pre-show.
I went to Adams Street.
And you know what's fucked up, man? There ain't no breweries in downtown Chicago. The only brewery in the only brewery in the Loop is Adams Street. Yeah. So Crushed by Giants is downtown, sure, but that's not the Loop. That's like Streeterville.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever they're calling that area.
They were also doing their Hellas green. They were dyeing it green.
Okay.
That was like a hard internal battle of like, for the photo, do I get the green beer?
You know, on St. Patty's Day? I mean, you might have to do that, you know?
But I planned.
Oh, you went Irish Red.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, would you have done it differently?
I just felt like the Hellas was just boring.
Yeah, you're like, fuck that. Even green.
Yeah. And I feel like it could have disappointed me more. Like, we've had Adams Street beer and at festivals, and we've met the guy, and like there's nothing wrong with them. Like, some of them are better than other ones.
Yeah, and Adams Street, I think, is the pivot because it was Berghoff Brewing. Right. They had Randy Mosier in there to develop recipes. They had the same kind of font.
They had Brian Shimko.
Oh, Shimko was there too?
Brewing there,
yeah. So, and now it's just Adams Street Brewery at Berghoff.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is a better name. Feels a little more like modern.
Because the Berghoff name was attached to, like, I remember as a kid, the 3-liter of fucking root beer.
Yeah.
Was Berghoff. And, sodas were Berghoff, and that was weird.
It feels a little less old man calling it Adams Street.
Yeah.
And, like, you can go in there for lunch versus, like, Berghoff feels like, I don't know. That's like, I gotta go for dinner and probably have a cigar afterwards.
Liver. Is this where you go to get, like, liver?
But Adams Street has been on this, like, place I haven't gone to yet in the city. And so I'm glad to, like, check it off the list.
Why do I feel like you've been to Adams Street and you've been to
Hailstorm?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So that was like my recent Chicago places. And then I was out in the burbs the other way.
North Burbs.
And I went to 93 Octane.
93
Have
Octane.
You heard of this?
I've heard of it, but that's it. I feel like I might have had it at Oak Park. Where is 93 Octane?
It's like St. Charles.
Okay.
Or like, is that St. Charles or whatever next to St. Geneva? This is probably like the surprise of all the Flipside one, because on that last episode I was like, I'm not going to Flipside.
Yeah.
But they won me over. But this 93 Octane was the surprise, I think, of all the places I've been to in the past like 2 weeks.
Really? 93 Octane. I mean, it looks good. I saw the photos, and I've seen their logo at events, but outside of that, I know nothing.
Every glass is branded, even down to their like little fucking tiny taster glasses.
These are important details.
Their taster glasses look like little beer cups, but they're tiny.
I love it. And shout out to Adam Street because theirs are branded as well.
Yeah.
Or everyone that's still branding their glassware. You are appreciated,
But this is like Mars level where every different kind of glass, like you got, I don't know, your Pilsner glass or every fucking thing is branded. And it's like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Now, what's going on here, man? Are they at a gas station or what the fuck? What's going on here?
I go in. I dropped Maeve off at like a wedding shower.
Nice.
And I get there. I was like, I gotta pee first before I start this. It was like an hour and a half drive or an hour drive. And so they're like, oh yeah, it's through the liquor store. I was like, what?
Oh, the brewery. You go. Okay, so you walk in and there's a liquor store and then the brewery. Wait.
I walked into the brewery and they are attached to a liquor store.
Okay.
I was like, okay. But the liquor store looks like what you would find at like a gas station. Like it feels like a gas station, like where all the like coolers are and everything. And then next to them is like an actual gas station, like a BP with a car wash and everything. So you're kind of in like a strip mall thing, like a, I don't know. And there might have been something on the other side of them, but I don't, maybe not. No, there wasn't, because it was just this, it was the gas station, then the car wash, then the liquor store, and then 93 Octane.
All right.
That's okay. Happy. And then he's like, "Oh, do you want food?" And I'm like, "Where is your kitchen? You guys are attached to a gas. You're next to a gas. I am not eating here." But
you'd be surprised. I've heard, I watch diners, drive-ins, and dives, and
the food looked really good. Other people like came in after me because I got there at 11 when they opened, and some other people got like breakfast burritos and they had like a burger. And I was like, man, this kind of looks good. I was like, I don't even know, where could this kitchen be? You're attached to a liquor store.
93 Octane, huh?
Yeah. The beer I got was great. I tried, they had a cream ale with birthday cake, and that was not good.
Really? Like a birthday cake cream ale?
Yeah.
They're taking the cream ale literally. Cream ale ain't even really supposed to be.
Yeah, it was like.
Because it was cream ales got like roots in prohibition, and it was like, breweries couldn't afford the lager beer, so this was like an alternate to that.
Yeah, this is like they sweetened it up.
And then like literal cream ale.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, I just had a taste of that, and I had something else. Man, they were all like great. I got a 4-pack, which we'll dive into on the episode coming up. I got a 4-pack, I think, of their IPA, so I didn't even try that. And this was a shock. I could have just stayed there. But
the good looking space though.
It's kind of weird. It's like they have like a garage door with like a patio, but their whole theme is like a gas station. It's a surprise.
Okay.
I would go back.
You went to Sturdy Shelter out that way.
Yeah.
Surprise like that, or?
Sturdy Shelter's better.
Okay.
The beer is better at Sturdy
I like this.
Shelter.
That's what Brad Lewski gives it to you straight. You ask him a question, and he just tells you what's going on.
Yeah. But you're in St. Charles. There's also like 4 breweries, sim to like Tinley Park.
Yeah, fucking
Pollyanna.
And then if you are at the front door of Pollyanna and just look over to the other side of the river, you see fucking Alter.
And that's where I went. And I was like, well, I haven't gone to Alter. Nick went to the new one over in
Oakbrook?
Oakbrook, yeah.
Yeah. And
so I was like, all right, I'll go in there.
Right on.
They've been there for 3 years.
Come on.
They opened.
Because the first one was in Downers Grove.
Right. They opened right as the pandemic happened.
Damn.
And they've been going.
Damn. 3 years.
So I sat at the bar waiting for Maeve to get done. Then I was going to get some food. Had the Tom Thanks. This was like a great. I got it just for the name. And to post the picture, be like, oh, saw Tom Thanks at
Tom Thanks
at Alter.
Jesus Christ! I mean,
that was a great beer. Had their pub burger. They had a smash burger, a pub burger, and another burger.
Smash burger. Where else did you go to have a smash burger?
Flipside.
Oh yeah.
But I got the pub burger.
Okay.
I felt like a pub burger.
Where you going? Hot take. You're going Flipside or you going Alter, St. Charles for the burger? How you feeling after you had them both?
I think I'd go back to Flipside.
Flipside gets a nod. Okay, cool.
I think Flipside. So, but yeah, that was Alter. I don't know. It's a super nice space. The bar is really nice.
They got 3 locations, and we talked about this on other shows. And God bless them, because they figure out a concept that works. It's a very bizarre phenomenon,
But it's a hard take if you're like, do you go to Pollyanna or do you go to Flips or do you go to Alter? Because like right across the river.
Oh yeah.
So you got the distillery option with Pollyanna, and they have food.
No.
No, they don't have food. Oh.
So that might be what it depends on choose your adventure, right? Like
so you would go to Pollyanna, swim across.
You could probably walk across.
There's a bridge.
Because I'm looking at how low this bridge is. I'm like, you can't fit any boats under this bridge, man. How low is it? How big is this? How deep is this river? It can't be that deep.
You wade through, you roll up your pants. Wade through.
Wade to the other side of the river. Get some complimentary towels.
And then you go to Alter and you eat. They have currently have like little igloos set up outside. Which is kind of cool.
I like a nice igloo, man. I did the Solemn Oath Go Brewing 2-step because they're in the same parking lot, and it was winter, and those little fucking igloos are so fun, man.
Right.
They got little little electric fire, the vertical one, with the mesh netting.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
This one didn't have a fire. They just had like a heater up top.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been all over.
Brad's rolling. I love to hear it, man, because sometimes, man, you're feeling adventurous and you want to go, and then sometimes you're just like, well, I'm just gonna live vicariously through Brad. So,
I think next is like towards Buckle Down, Skeleton Key. That's kind of the next direction.
Okay, yeah, I might go to
see what Flossmoor's doing.
Man, Flossmoor Station. They were a giant at one point. Last time I went there, I think I took my kid, and it was summer, and they had the truck with the ice cream. But it's more like a family restaurant,
right? So
you got to go like during the day,
So where you gonna go then?
I think I'm gonna go to Faster. No, they're doing some barrel-aged vanilla thing for their members, but it's gonna be on draft.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna go try it.
All right.
Yeah.
Did we cover our full adventure besides the Guinness preview we went to, which we touched a little bit with Jim?
Yeah, Jimmy Callahan. Cheers to him. We had him on the show. He was the Guinness Great Lakes ambassador. That was a good episode. So Guinness said, and I don't know, stop me if we talked about this, but they said it'll be a 10-barrel system, and they'll make beer in Chicago. And if Chicago likes it enough, then they'll send the recipe to Baltimore, and then they'll brew it there, and then send it back to Chicago and sell it off-site.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I think it makes sense, but I think that's probably not ever going to happen.
Oh, they might not even get to the point where the demand calls for them to even make beer off premise.
Right,
like make Chicago specific beers off premise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it would have to be so good that then it goes to Baltimore. They probably brew it there, test it in Baltimore, and be like, man, Baltimore said no, so we're not.
Baltimore's like, we fucked it up. It don't taste as good.
Yeah.
So now we're just gonna scrap it. That's what happened in 312. They sent 312 to Baldwinsville, New York, and they had to dump the first 312. Right. If you listen to the Chicago Beer Society, this is what they would say. So these things are not the same.
Yeah.
Water's different.
Yeah. Speaking of 312, 312 Day happened.
Yeah. 312 Day happened same time as St. Patty's Day.
The Saturday of the weekend. No, it was the weekend before. It was the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day, but that's Chicago St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Right. The Dine of the River is always the weekend before.
Oh, so it happened Sunday.
Yeah, so it happened a day after the actual St. Patty's Day was 312 Day. Right?
No, because St. Patrick's Day was actually the following Friday.
Oh. So it was the day after.
Day after they dyed the river, which was the day after the party here at my place.
Oh, the next day was 312 Day?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So,
I'm there
but
now.
that's like full on. That Saturday is Chicago partying. Sunday is Chicago partying
Oh,
slash.
because Sunday is the day they do the Southside Parade.
Right.
Yeah. So 312 is basically right in the middle of Chicago St. Patty's Day weekend this year.
This year, typically, I think if 312 Day could just fall on a weekday,
Yeah.
and then it's like its own kind of thing. But the fact that it fell on a weekend that happened to be the parade day,
Yeah.
it got lost.
That's true. I didn't, we were talking in the pre-show, and I actually forgot that it was 312 Day, because there's been some pretty epic 312 days. They used to give away. They used to have a scavenger hunt for bicycles all around the city, and I think if you saw a gigantic 312 lemon for the lemon shandy drop, then you could take this gigantic lemon and trade it in for a very sweet 312 mountain bike. I've been to some really cool concerts at Cross the Street at the Goose Island Brewery Warehouse for 312 Day.
Right.
312 Day in the past has been kind of a moment, in the city. It's just as far as the celebration goes, or some kind of cool event.
I had a bunch of 312s yesterday in honor.
So I think I stopped. I was at Goose Clybourne looking for this barrel aged Shamrock Stout.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't at Clybourne, so I went to Clybourne first, and I went to Fulton, and I saw in their cooler that they did have I think it was 312 Strawberry Jam. It might have just been called 312 Jam, but it was a strawberry variant of 312. And
So we had that preview where we saw those variety packs of
Like,
it was 312 lemon and 312 strawberry, and they sort of alluded to if strawberry works out, we may do some other flavors, but probably not flavors that you've seen. We're not going to do a orange one, or we might do a rhubarb or something like that.
rhubarb sounds nice. I think they I think 312 Shandy a couple years ago was the fastest selling beer ever at Goose Island.
Yeah.
Right. So it kind of caught lightning in the bottle. So I guess that's a very AB thing. Like, well, what's up next? Brand extension on 312. Let's just throw it all against the wall and push them. But I don't know if they captured the magic of Shandy this time around, like they did because I thought the lemon Shandy I think is really good actually.
Yeah, I like it, especially in the summer.
Yeah,
When it's hot.
I actually like that more than 312.
Yeah. Even if you're like it's a good like early afternoon beer. If you're like mowing the lawn in the summer, you're just like, all right, well, I don't want the hot coffee anymore. I'll get this basically lemonade.
Right. And to be fair, because Revolution does one, which is more like a lemon. It's more like beer with actual lemon.
Oh, yeah. The
Freedom lemonade. And 312 kind of leans more into more like the country time vibes. Right. But just so people know, like, hey, those are differences. Those are different things. But the 312 is still good.
Yeah. So 312 Day, sort of either we weren't paying attention or it didn't cross our paths, or they didn't do as much this time, but it felt like, I don't know, it was a little lackluster. But falling on St. Patrick's Day weekend, I'm sure hurt them.
Not so lucky.
But you went to both locations and they were packed. So
yeah.
It wasn't really hurting them. Just people were going to show up to drink no matter what.
Yeah, it was on a Kraken at Clybourne, which was the biggest surprise. I couldn't get a seat at the bar. I couldn't get a seat, like a regular seat. And then and they didn't have the beer anyway I was looking for. So then I went over to Fulton. And then Fulton was the same thing. There's this one little wooden bench by the to-go coolers.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to sit there. And I drank a little 6 ounces of
Sad Nick.
just in the corner, with my leg crossed, people watching, like a schmuck. But you know what I noticed though, that kind of cheered me up was that they had a crazy collection of like vintage stuff in this cooler.
Okay.
So they had the microphone 2-pack, the one side. What is it? Side A and side B of the double LP.
But that's like almost a year old.
Yeah, I mean it's barrel aged barley wine and a barrel aged stout mix pack.
Yeah.
Right. So that was in there. Sophie Paradisi was there.
Okay.
The Sophie with blueberry, whatever they're calling that one, that was in there.
Okay.
Madame Rose from like 2010. and the little 4-pack that came in the little there's like these little eye drop bottles, little not a mixed 4-pack. It was a 4-pack of Lolita from them from 2017. That was there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Juliet in 4-packs, which I haven't seen any of those beers anywhere. Yeah. So I got a 2010 Madame Rose.
Okay.
I think from a science project perspective, like how does a 13-year-old beer taste? Now it was at the brewery, so they kept it, as best they could.
Yeah.
Right. And then I take it home, put it in the fridge. But like in general, what's a 13-year-old brown sour cherry ale taste like? Right. So.
Oh yeah.
But
Over to Ken Huntermeter's house. He's probably got some.
He's probably got them all.
He's
probably got them all. Yeah. But
damn.
It's funny because like outside of BCS and the Sisters, right? Those are their highest rated beers, and then the Sisters are apparently on hiatus, right? So
they're all in on beer hugs.
Yeah, because they're super into beer hugs. But yeah, for the longest time, those were the most revered lines, BCS and the Sisters.
So yeah, just on them thinking for a minute, the 312 day stuff. Like, was it about a year ago we were at that preview for Beer Hugs, and we had the 312, and we also had the A side? Was that?
I think we had them both.
Was that a year now?
Yeah, because that was the spring preview for 2022. So they rolled out a peaches and cream version of the barley wine, and then they brought out just a peach version of a barley wine, both extended aging, like 2 years on both.
Yeah.
Then they had the 312 mix pack with all these flavors that you mentioned earlier.
And the Beer Hugs.
And the debut of the Beer Hugs. Yeah. That was a year ago.
That was a year.
Man.
It feels longer.
It does. But yeah, that was a spring preview.
Okay. I wonder, do you think they're doing another one? Or we just weren't invited?
They probably told us to. Look at these motherfuckers. I haven't heard anything from Goose, and I haven't heard anything from Goose in a long time. Well, they said Stoutfest is coming. They didn't ask me if I want to come.
Stoutfest happened.
Oh yeah.
And then I think Whiskey Hill won.
Whiskey Hill did win Stoutfest. Yeah, I think the people's choice was Whiskey Hill, and then the brewer's choice was Twisted Hippo. Yeah.
So those are kind of both shockers to me.
Yeah.
That's a congratulations though, but it's like a shock. Like
Whiskey Hill. Well, Eric the brewer.
Worked at Goose,
and he's the one. He came up with a prop one year. It was a coconut prop. I think the greatest hits prop they kind of called it. It was like coconut and toasted pecans and vanilla and chocolate.
But then Twisted Hippo
won.
I didn't even know they ever made any barrel aged beers.
I didn't either. Yeah. Well, to be fair, it's just called Stoutfest, right? So.
Oh, it doesn't have to be barrel aged.
Right. Right. So, maybe I don't know. But
they have a stout.
I guess. Right, they won. The Goose posted pictures with, Whiskey Hill won the trophy.
Okay.
Probably the coolest trophy around because it looks just like a fermenter. It's like a giant fermenter.
Yeah.
And then they took pictures with Twist Hippo as well. So Mara Lee and Mr. Hippo, Carl, they weren't there.
Oh, okay.
I think one of their ambassadors was there. So the photos with that person.
They won and they didn't even show up.
It's like Gary Gully when he won at GAVF. He was like, I didn't think I was going to win. Remember when Gary Gully was at Beer Hoptacular when he took a gold at GAVF?
That's right.
It's kind of the same. It's kind of the same thing.
Damn.
Yeah. So,
okay.
But yeah, cheers to them, man, for Stoutfest.
I thought you were just gonna roll up to Stoutfest.
I thought about it, and I was on my couch, and I'm like, man, probably about to hit this Uber Eats and do a whole lot of nothing. And I probably should have crashed Stoutfest. I probably should have.
They would have let you in.
I mean, maybe.
They would have let you in.
They'd have been like, who?
There's people that know who they are.
It'd have been like the very first time I ever called Three Floyds. Cole called him, and I got the bar. And I was like, yeah, it's Nick, I'm with Chicago Beer Geeks. I want to talk to somebody. They're like, who? And they put me on hold. And I swear, like 40 minutes went by, and no one ever came back to the phone. I have visions of that, but that was years ago.
That's when you just be like, no, I had to get something from my car. I was here.
I tell you, my favorite is, now we're on a tangent, but my favorite Night of Living Ales was at Goose Wrigley, because Goose Wrigley had this basically a storage room.
Yeah.
This big ass garage at Goose Wrigley. and Night Living Ales is there. And I just, I happen to be over there. I'm sitting at the bar, and that's Jared Rubin rolls up. And Jared Rubin was the pub brewmaster at both.
Yeah.
And Jared, I kind of crashed Night Living Ales.
You weren't even supposed to be there?
I wasn't supposed to be there. Jared Rubin's
So
like, "What are you?"
the fart fest?
He's like, "What are you doing out here?" I'm like, "I don't know. What's going on back?" I'm being coy. What's going on back there? Jared Rubin's like, "Here's your little fucking, your wristband. Get your ass back there," kind of thing. So
nice.
It probably would have happened like that, but
I was probably there.
I mean, this was like, rest in peace, Goose Wrigley. Goose Wrigley was way more fun than Goose Claiborne because Goose Wrigley had the Night Living Nails, and Goose Wrigley had a patio, so you could do the Oktoberfest shit there too, and it was right by Wrigley. Just a whole different vibe. Goose Wrigley was like way better.
It just offered like a different thing. It was like almost like a gem in the like chaos that is Wrigleyville.
Correct. Yeah, I've had some good moments at Claiborne too. So I don't prefer Goose Wrigley to Claiborne. I think I just miss Goose Wrigley. And maybe that's a better statement. I don't think it's better. I just miss Goose Wrigley.
Yeah. Well, there's not many places or breweries to miss in Chicago, and that's probably one that's like, oh man, I'm sure Goose probably kicks themselves too, or AB basically be like, if they could have got into that hotel,
Zachary,
and rebuilt or did like a brew pub, even if it was like a fake, like a United Center one,
right? Yeah,
it would have killed.
Goose Wrigley had Goose Wrigley had its perks. Yeah, like you said, it was just kind of an island of cool
friends
shit.
getting married
at Goose Wrigley.
Really? Yeah,
Goose Wrigley was built for like that kind of thing.
That was crazy. Yeah,
I like Goose Wrigley, man.
But damn. All right. That's what happens when we like crush all these Irish Reds here. All right, we're gonna be opening up Guinness Zeros soon. This is like the foreign stout. It's room temperature.
That's good.
That's what we were told the Jamaicans drink. Did he say Costa Rica?
Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Yeah. Room temperature, and it pairs well with spicy foods. And a lot of their breweries are around the Caribbean because a lot of folks like to pair Guinness foreign extra stout with spicy foods. Yeah. That was the takeaway from Guinness. Like the one that is sold around the world the most, like 80% of all the stuff they make
is that one.
7.5% compared to the 4.2 dry Irish stout that's sold here.
Yeah.
So fucking bizarre, man. But yeah.
Damn. All right. Let's get out of here. Nick, where can people find you? Get in touch. I'm not here.
Hey, man. I'm on Twitter at Nicosio.
And I'm on Twitter, BRAD, Chicago Beer Pass. Twitter, Instagram, website, chicagobeerpass.com. And we should be back with another episode and more suburban adventures soon. Take care.
Cheers.